Since 2007, one man has dared to expose the sinister power players on all sides of the phony political spectrum. Armed with over 30 years of research knowledge of the paranormal, government conspiracies, geopolitics, secret and ancient societies, the esoteric arts, and much more. One man's quest for knowledge has become a mission for the enlightenment of all people. Broadcasting from the conspiracy ground zero of Dallas, Texas, this is The Global Reality with your host, Josh Reeves.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the broadcast. It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2019. I'm your host, Josh Reeves, and thank you again for being with me for another edition of the show. And I'm going to blast through some of the various news items and stuff that I have to discuss with you here tonight. I'm going to basically get into a lot of the stuff that I didn't have a chance to get into yesterday on the show, and some other various topics. As I talked about tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the States, so I'll be, I'm going to do some kind of broadcast tomorrow. I'm not going to do anything Thanksgiving related, because what the fuck can you really say about that, you know? Other than the usual bullshit, you know, which I'm not going to get into. But I don't know what the show will be like tomorrow. I might get up here and talk about whatever. It might not even be conspiracy or whatever you want to call this genre. I don't know what the fuck I call it anymore, because I don't even agree with a lot of the shit that's put out there conspiracy-wise anymore. I'll be honest with you, I don't even agree with most of it, because most of it's put out by disinformation sources and everything else. So, but I'll be getting into something. Who knows? I'll talk about stuff I like, you know, music, whatever. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, I'll be here doing a show for you tomorrow because, well, frankly, I mean, listen, that's the thing. Win, lose, or draw about me, I shoot you straight. I tell you the truth 100% of the time up here. So, and it's crazy how many people don't like that. They get mad at me because I shoot it straight. There's so many people out there that want me to get up here and not shoot you straight. They want me to get up here and just go along to get along with things I don't agree with, just to fit in with the rest of the conspiracy people or whatever. And I've just never done that. And I don't give a fuck whether that pisses you off, you like it or not. I'm going to shoot it to you straight, and I'm never going to go along to get along and jump on conspiracies and everything else. But it's crazy how many things I can be 100% right about, how many things I've predicted and called long before anybody else was talking about them, was on them before anybody else. But then one thing comes along that I don't jump on, and you'll get people saying, well, I'm not going to support you now because you're not on that issue. You don't believe in that issue. That's just insane. That's pure insanity. Pure insanity. You have to agree 100% with everything somebody talks about, or you're not going to support them. That dude, you are a fucking, I don't even know what to call you. I don't even know. I don't even know what to call people with that mindset. It's just completely psychotic. I don't even know what to call it. But, you know, that's what I've always done. I've always shot you straight, and I'm never going to jump on top of things just because everybody else is jumping on them. But I'll talk more about that later. But as far as like shooting it straight, anyway, I will be here with you tomorrow. And I hope those of you that are here in the States and are participating in Thanksgiving, I hope you all have say the travel's going to be crazy. It's going to be all kinds of, they got a fucking bomb cyclone hitting and all kinds of crazy weather and travel conditions, flights canceled, and it's going to be nuts out there. So if you're traveling and you're going somewhere, be safe out there. Take your time. Don't rush. Enjoy your turkey and your food and your family. And please take the time to think about those, less fortunate than yourself. And including myself, because I'm way less fortunate than a lot of you out there, because frankly, I talked about it yesterday and I'll talk about it again today because it's getting closer and closer. We've got to reach 100% of our operating cost goal. And because we've continued to not get what we need, I think we got in $10 since last night's show, which is insane. I am one of those less fortunate people. I'm not going to be able to have dinner and all that with my family, and because I can't afford it. I can't afford to, because I live in the city and I take Uber everywhere I go, which I don't have to go that many places ever really. And where my family's has Thanksgiving at, I live in the city and they're out in kind of the rural area, out in the suburbs, and it's like $65-$70 to take a round trip to go have Thanksgiving for me. And our power's going to be shut off on Friday if we don't have at least a minimum of $100 to pay the bill by then. And we've got the rest of operating costs coming up due by Monday. So just if you are one of those people and you find yourself, this sucks, or traffic sucks and weather sucks, or, everybody's watching football and I don't like football and I got to go listen to fucking Aunt Helga fucking talk about how much she likes Trump, or I got to go listen to fucking Uncle John shit on fucking Hillary all day, whatever, I don't know. But whatever the situation it is that you're in, I'll ask of you is that you take the time to appreciate what you do have, because I always take the time to appreciate what I have, and instead of things I don't have. So just for me, I'm asking you to just tomorrow, when you're giving those thanks, give thanks for those you have, and think about the people who don't have. Because listen, I gave it all up, years ago. Gave everything up and dedicated myself to this. And I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at this. It's a fact. And that's the only reason that my knowledge base has gained the way it is because I don't stop. I never stop. And, it'd be great to be able to go, it sucks I don't get to go hang out with family and eat turkey and all that and see my nieces and nephews. But also, $60-$70 for me, that's food budget and everything else. Plus I got to keep the lights on. We got to keep the studio up and running, and I got to continue to work to get Spellcasters 2 out very soon. So, again, just take the time out to appreciate what you do have, and don't try not to get too mad when you're having to put up with the in-laws or whatever other bullshit you got to put up with over the holiday. All right. Let's get into the news tonight. This is hilarious. Attorney General Barr says Epstein's death was a perfect storm of screw-ups, right? Isn't that the same shit they said after 9/11? It is, isn't it? Oh, it was just a perfect storm of, we knew, we heard rumors there was going to be attack, and we had to tell, but, we get so much intel every year that we just can't pick and choose and decide between what's a legitimate threat and what isn't. And we just, stuff like this happens. And that was one of the big clips big things I uncovered. And it was my first, I've talked about this before, but I'd like to talk about it again because I think it's an important thing. That was the first moment, even before I found out about the Council for National Policy stuff. This is probably about a month before I did. A couple of months before I found out about the Council for National Policy stuff. But I was still on board with Jones at that point. You know, that's a weird thing to imagine, though, isn't it, at this point, that when I first started this show, of course, the second week I started the show, I wasn't on board with it anymore. But when I first started this show, excuse me, and when I first released my first film, 9/11 New World Rising, in September 2007, I was still a Jones fan at that point. In fact, Jones, some of you may know this, some of you may not. I actually won. Jones has had a slew of contests since then, but he had the first contest that he ever had was called the 9/11 Push the Truth contest. And he had people submit videos of their 9/11 truth actions. And the winner won $1,000 and a big fucking, Bubba tub of Jonesy's merch, stickers and DVDs and all that shit. And I mean, like I don't ever normally win things, but it was just as soon as I heard that he announced that, I was like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to fucking win this. So I remember going out to, because I've been doing 9/11 True stuff for a couple of years at that point, and we would always go and do stuff in Dealey Plaza. So I had this idea, and we had just a bunch, filmed a bunch of stuff in Dealey Plaza and up doing our 9/11 stuff. One of the things that you had to do in your videos, you had to figure out a way to get Infowars.com you had to incorporate it in your truth action somewhere with what you were doing. So I was like, well, I know what we'll do. And so I told my sister, I was like, hey, what do you think about if we took an Infowars.com sticker? Because, if you can go to Dealey Plaza, if you've never been to Dealey Plaza, in Dealey Plaza, there's the X marks the spot on the street, on the road where the kill shot came. Kind of cryptic and morbid, but at the same time, it's historically, I've heard people criticize, oh, that's morbid. I can't believe they'd mark the exact spot where his brain flew out or whatever. But, I actually get it. I actually understand it, because it's actually an important historical thing, because if it wasn't there, then people would be arguing over where it actually happened at. So by marking that spot with the X, then there's no argument as to where it happened, where it occurred. So I told my sister, hey, here's what we'll do. You run out when there's no traffic coming, run out and slap the Infowars.com sticker right smack dab in the middle of the X where Kennedy got his brains blown out at. And I'll video you doing it, and that'll be part of the thing. And I was like, that'll win it right there. And then we had like CIA helicopters were out there fucking monitoring our truth actions and shit all the time. So I got footage of that. And then I was sitting there, and this is where the money shot came in, because I was sitting there and I was like, I'm not kidding you. I was trying to get people on tape saying goofy shit, and I did do that. But back then, Jones used to go and interview. He'd go up on the street and ask people about stuff, and if they knew about Building 7 and all this stuff. So I did that, and then people were, he'd always get these total fucking retards, just total brain dead morons on film. Like, you couldn't even believe that it was real. You're like, oh, you can't be anybody that's that fucking stupid. This has got to be fake. But no, they were real people. And I was sitting there, I was like, I'm thinking in my head, standing there. I remember standing there in Dealey Plaza, right at the spot near where Abraham Zapruder was filming at. That's where I was standing at the time. And I was standing over there. There's kind of like a walkway thing. And I was thinking, man, I need one of those fucking fucktards like Jones gets on film. I need one of those fucking guys to show up. Somebody that's just totally fucking dumb. Man, I'm not even kidding you. 5 minutes after I fucking thought that, it happened. And this guy, we call him the red sweater guy. God bless that guy wherever he's at, because he won me that contest hands down. And as with his statement about, Sir, do you know how many people died on 9/11? No, and I don't care. I'm more concerned about whether Reggie Bush took money from somebody or something like that. Some football thing about Reggie Bush. And then later he's like, well, how many people died? And, he's like, yeah, that's a drop in the bucket. People get aborted every day. Man, when that guy got done, he walked away. I remember putting I'll never forget this. I remember shutting the viewfinder on the camera, the little screen, when I was done with him. I remember shutting it, turning the camera off. And as he walked away, I went, man, I should go buy that guy a sandwich or something. I was like, that guy just won me the fucking contest. There's no fucking way. I was kind of confident, but after that guy, I was like, there's no fucking way I'm not going to win after that fucking guy. There's no way. And so I was sure that I won. And then Jones kept saying he was going to announce the contest, and he never did. Like a month went by, another month went by. He never announced a winner. The contest ended. And I don't know whether it was because I was harassing him or what. And back then I knew his producer at the time. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think if I'm being 100% honest, I think the reason I won that contest was because I knew the producer at the time. I mean, I did have the best video. All the other ones were garbage compared to mine. There's no question about it. But I was like, hey, I kept emailing going, hey man, can you ask fucking Jones to pick a winner here? And I think Jones just finally went, whatever, you just pick one and we'll go with that. And he I guess his producer at the time, I'm pretty sure, picked mine because he knew me. And then Jones still never announced it on his show. He still never announced it, like I've said before. And I've told you the story about what happened. You can watch me tell the story in Spellcasters Volume 1 about the thing I had with Jones in 2006, where he showed me his Satan. He showed me his demon. And back then, like I said, I was still on board with him back then. But it's so weird because I just saw, I'm telling you, the guy had some kind of ability to know that I was going to fucking be exposing him in the future. Because that was the thing with the contest, he was going to announce the winner. They never announced the winner he never announced the winner on his show. So he never said my name. That's the thing. Even back before I was exposing him, he still would not say my name on his show. Isn't that bizarre? Isn't that weird? It's such a strange thing, isn't it? And we ended up finding out by email that we won. I think they ended up putting it on their website or something, but he was supposed to announce it on his show, and he just wouldn't. And months went by. And then, a couple weeks later, I got a box in the mail. It had a fucking gang load of his Terror Storm DVDs and shit in it, and a boatload of stickers, and a $1,000 check signed by Jones. That's what funded. That video is what funded my first film, 9/11 New World Rising, and it's what led to me starting my radio show. But before that, even before that happened, when I was putting together the film, I found this fucking clip. Nobody had found this yet. I was the first person online to find this clip. I found a clip of Paul Wolfowitz talking to the graduating class of West Point Military Academy in like May or June of 2001. And there's Wolfowitz telling the graduating class of, the best and the brightest that are going to be going into the military, that they need to get used to things like Pearl Harbor, like new Pearl Harbors happening, because we get so much intel and we get so much intelligence and data in every year and every day that it's impossible for us to act on all the intelligence that we get. And that sometimes, they need to get used to things like new Pearl Harbors happening. And I was like, oh my God, this is a smoking gun. This is more proof that they knew that they had planned this thing and they knew it was going to come. And here he is, just a few months before, a couple of months before 9/11, telling the best and the brightest at West Point, the graduating class, to get ready for things like another Pearl Harbor happening. And at the time, I was still naive and living under the impression that, that this was a real movement and we were all fucking holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and and everybody was, in it for the truth. So I emailed Jones when I found this clip when I was working on the film, and sent it to Jones and said, hey, look at this. This is huge. I found this. Nobody's found this yet. Can you please talk about this and put this out and, just give me credit for the find or whatever. And he didn't give me credit for the find. He, in fact, credited it to himself and to his team and announced that find and put out that video as if it was his find. And that was that's when I knew. I was already kind of suspicious of him for a while before, but I kind of put it in the back of my mind. But as soon as that happened, and he puts out this clip and acts like it was his discovery and took credit for the discovery of finding this Paul Wolfowitz clip, and then after that, it was just like a couple of weeks later. I put the film out. I hosted, I filled in for somebody on a radio show because they were in New York for the 9/11 True stuff going on up there on 9/11. And then within like 2 weeks after that, towards the end of September is when I started my show. Then I did my second show ever and had Pruneface came later when I confronted him on another show. But Peter Del Scott was on because I was supposed to have him at the premiere of my film, 9/11 New World Rising. And then that's when I found out about the Council for National Policy, and boom, was off to the races after that. But so they're doing the same thing here with the Epstein thing, saying, oh, well, it was just a perfect storm of screw ups, That's what caused his death. Bullshit. So now, not only are they pushing this phony conspiracy that, Epstein didn't kill himself and reiterating that, he's dead, but he didn't commit suicide, and attempting to blame it on the Clinton body count. Now they're using the same old 9/11 thing. Attorney General William Barr said he initially had his own suspicions about financier Jeffrey Epstein's death while behind bars at one of the most secure jails in America, but came to conclude that his suicide was the result of a perfect storm of screw-ups, right? Just like 9/11, same thing. Oh, it was just a perfect storm of screw-ups, That's what happened, right? That's when you're dealing with something that was premeditated. In an interview with the Associated Press, Barr said that his concerns were prompted by the numerous irregularities at the New York jail where Epstein was being held, but he said after the FBI and the Justice Department's Inspector General continued to investigate, he realized there was a series of mistakes made that gave Epstein the chance to take his own right. Just all horseshit. But yeah, man, that was that thing with Jones though. That was my first moment when I was like, oh my God, who the fuck does that? To steal somebody's thunder. I didn't have to send that to him. But like I said, I was under the impression, because that was the game he was spitting on his show, that, this is a truth movement. We're all in this together. So I bought into it. I believed it, So I sent him that clip in good faith. And not only did he not respond, he could have just said, fuck you, or something. Not only did he not respond, he took the clip, trotted it out as his own, made a big deal about it, and proceeded to pat himself on the back. And so, that's the thing about Jones, is regardless of, even if you strip all the other stuff away, this is my point I've always tried to make about the guy. Even if you strip all the other stuff away, with him being a plant and a shill and connected to the CMP and CIA and family being CIA and everything else and John Birch Society, even if you strip all of that away, the guy is a fucking scumbag. That's the real point. I think maybe I haven't iterated enough and I have, that's just my own experience with the guy. I mean, that's the whole thing is, you don't even have to look at all the other evidence. You can just strip it down to that one incident where, he took a clip that he did not find and then trotted it out and took credit for it and thought nobody would ever be able to call him on it. So he's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. I heard he's like 90 days clean now. Whoa, wow. I don't drink anymore. 3 months. Yeah. Motherfucker. I quit drinking in 2011. Now, granted, that's not to say I haven't had a beer or two or a shot or two or anything, but I haven't like had a fucking all out drunk. I just lost a taste for it, man. Shortly after my dad passed away in 2011, I just was like done. It was just something like went off in my head. I was like, well, but shortly before that, it actually was before that. I was playing gigs at that time, and I remember my band played this gig at a club, and I ran up like $150, $175 bar tab or something just for me, drinking all night. And when I closed out my bar tab, I walked out of the bar, and I was totally sober. And I went, oh shit! I think I just cooked my liver to the point where it just wasn't working anymore. So I was like, I'm done. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Jones, regardless of all the other evidence, everything I've compiled, everything, all the other ways I've exposed him, paying that radio station $30,000 to get me off the airwaves, that was hilarious too. But he's just a fucking scumbag. That's the bottom line. You know what I'd like to do? Here's what I'd like to do. This would be fucking awesome. I'd be willing to do this. This is what we need to do. This is what I want to happen. UFC 247 is coming to Houston in February. And they always have the fights, and they have like the preliminary fights, and they start like butt ass early, like 4:00 in the afternoon. What I want to do, here's what I want to do. I want to challenge Alex Jones to a 3-round fucking MMA match in Houston for the title, the Conspiracy King title belt. That's what I want to do. Somebody get Dana White on the horn and make this shit happen. Let's do it. I'm down. Let's fucking go. I want to wipe the floor with that motherfucker, because I will. I will wipe the floor with that sumbitch. He's short too. What did Brad Pitt say in Fight Club? Short guys fight to the death? We'll see. We'll see. I could take him, though. I could take his ass. Now, if it was just like a straight street fight or something, he might beat me, because I'm sure he'd fight dirty. But if we're fighting MMA rules, UFC rules, I'll take his ass. Now, here's the advantage he'll have over me. Number one, he's friends with Joe Rogan, and he's friends with Eddie Bravo. Those two things will give him an advantage over me, no question, no doubt. But, hey, motherfucker, you know who I got here in Dallas? I got Jeff Hands of Steel Neal, motherfucker. He's from Dallas. He's fighting next month, December 14th, and he's on the undercard in Vegas. But he's an up-and-comer. He's somebody to watch out for in the future. But he's from right here in Dallas. He actually works at fucking, you ever heard of the restaurant Texas Roadhouse? Jeff Hands of Steel Neal actually works at the fucking Texas Roadhouse here in the Dallas area, in Garland. We'll go out there and find his ass. Be like, Jeff, I need you to work my corner, dog. Brush me up on my boxing. That's the thing, though. Listen, he's going to have to knock me out. He's going to have to knock me the fuck out in the first round, or it's over, or I'm going to take him. If he doesn't knock me out in the first fucking round right out of the gates, he's done. Because if I get him on the ground, because like I said, he's a short guy. I've seen him in person at that Terror Storm thing in 2006. He fucking waddles. Hey guys, he's like the penguin. Hey guys, how's it going? I remember he got out of the car, and we were like standing right on the curb, and like his car pulls up, and he got out. We were out in front of the Lakewood Theater, and I was like, "Oh shit, that motherfucker's short." Hey guys, whack 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 whack. Burgess Meredith is a penguin, waddling around. He's like 5'4" or something, I think. Short motherfucker. Napoleon complex, which they say is actually a misnomer, because they say actually that Napoleon wasn't actually short. That's what I've heard. Either way, he's gonna have to knock. See, that's the thing. He's short, so what he'll do is, since I'm taller than him, is he'll charge me, which is what they call that shooting in wrestling terms. He'll like charge me with his head down, If he does that, if he shoots at me and he charges me and I get him on the ground and I take his back and I flatten him out and get the fucking rear naked choke in, it's over. It's game over. So he's going to knock me the fuck out right to get him the gates. Because if I get him on the ground, I take him to the ground and I sink the fucking guillotine in, he's done. He's done. Because listen, Jones has probably been in more street fights than I have. I've probably only been in like 4 or 5 fist fights in my life. I've heard him talk about, he's probably been in way more fist fights than me. But listen to this, motherfucker. I'm 5 for 5 on my chokeouts. That ain't no question. I've had the chokeout fucking mastered for years. I'm 5 for 5 on chokeout. I've choked 4. I've choked out 4 and tapped another one. I'm not kidding you. You know who I tapped? I tapped my uncle out. I tapped my uncle out. It was in East Texas one time. Me and my dad and my uncle, and I was in the back seat. My dad was driving. My uncle was in the front seat, and I was directly behind him. I forget what was going on. There was some bullshit going down. It was shortly after my grandpa died, in like 2004. I forget what happened. I can't remember all the circumstances. I had half a fucking buzz on at the time. Anyway, he started going berserk in my dad's vehicle and started fucking like slamming, like tearing the vehicle up. He was going berserk and he was acting like he was going to go after my dad, which they always try to kill each other. I had to thwart that shit a few times, but he was sitting there just going berserk, and I just fucking reached over the seat and fucking grabbed it, just fucking put that fucking forearm bone right under his fucking chin and started squeezing, dude. He started going out, and he was started slapping his fucking hand. I fucking tapped his ass. And later he was like, God damn, I was going out. I was like, God damn right you were going out, motherfucker. I almost put your ass to sleep. I put a couple of that choke. I could choke a motherfucker out. I may not be able to go, 3 rounds stand up boxing, but if I get you on the ground and flatten you out, motherfucker, and get that chokehold in, you're done. You're donezo. You're donezo, Jones. I challenge you, Jones. Conspiracy belt, motherfucker, the king. I'm taking the home, the strap, and the title back to Dallas. I challenge you. Get Dana White on the phone, motherfuckers. Let's do this. You imagine? Boy, y'all can't wait to see our 2 fat asses in the fucking ring in our underwear with our shirts off, can you? Oh, that's just going to be beautiful. Jones don't have no tats. I got a few tats. John ain't got no tats. So at least I'll look a little cooler with the tats I got, But goddamn, nobody wants to see that. Motherfuckers gonna be like, y'all need to put y'all shirts on. Our fat asses in there. I think I could take him though. If he's gonna beat me, he's gonna have to just come right out of the gates, and he's gonna have to catch me with something on the chin and knock me the fuck out. And if he doesn't do that, he's done. Because if he shoots and I get him on the ground, I'm gonna sink in the guillotine. It's over. There's no fucking way. There's no way he's gonna be able to get out of my choke. I will choke that motherfucker out. And I'll choke him out so quick he won't even have time to tap. I'm telling you right now. Bring it, Jones. I'm ready. I challenge you to 3 5-minute rounds, MMA in the octagon for the conspiracy title belt, UFC 247 in Houston in February. You get who you want in your corner. I'll get who I want in my corner. I challenge you. Let's go. I'm going to take your ass down. And I want some stakes on this shit too. Like, I want some like winner take all stakes. Like, if I lose, I got to fucking be off air for a year. And if that motherfucker loses, he's got to be off air. Something. There's got to be some stakes besides just the strap. I want a piece of that motherfucker. But I wanted it in control. I don't wish harm against him. You know what I'm saying? I've never, as much as I have exposed Jones, I think I wish no harm against him or ill will against him or anything else. He's just, it's like I've said before, it's not, there's no law against being a retard. I mean, he's just fucking dumb. He's retarded. That's all there is to it. Because clearly anybody who would allow themselves to be controlled by the entities like the CMP and others that he's controlled by is obviously mentally handicapped. So I'll take you. I'll take his ass. I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm ready to do it. But he's gonna have to knock me the fuck out right out of the gates, or he's done. I'm telling you right now, if I get him on the ground, there's no way he could beat my submission game. There's no way. I will take his ass. Can you imagine that shit? Oh my God, they definitely wouldn't show that on TV. Nobody wants to see two fat asses with our fucking shirts on. That would be some shit. I want Bruce Buffer out there fucking calling that shit too. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. First, fighting out of the red corner, a conspiracy radio talk show host from Austin, Texas, with a record of 0-0-0. Fighting out of Austin, Texas, Alex the Big Enchilada Jones. And his opponent, a radio talk show host, documentary filmmaker, with a record of 0-0-0, with 5, make that 4 submissions and 1 tap out. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas, Josh, the Albino Dragon Reeves. I'm telling you, that's the fight of the year right there. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. You're going down, Jonesy. You're going to fuck down. I'm taking you down. I'm challenging you. I'm calling you out, motherfucker. Let's do this. I'm taking the strap back to Dallas. I'm taking the title. And this is a 1-1, too. If you lose, we ain't running it back. This is it. Winner take all. Man, like I said, I don't wish any... I've never wished any ill will or anything towards that guy. Everything I've always attempted to expose him has always just strictly been about information and the fact that he's a, one of the top, if not the top shill in the game. And I've never wished violence against the guy or anything bad or negative. But in the octagon, Oh, I'd love to smash that motherfucker. Oh, I catch him with a flying knee or something, dude. Or catch him with a fucking elbow to the nose. Oh, if I get him on the ground, there ain't no way he's going to fucking take me on the ground. I'm telling you right now. He's going to have to knock me the fuck out right out of the gates. Tell me you wouldn't pay to see. That'd be the biggest pay-per-view of the year right there. I'm telling you. Tell me you wouldn't pay-per-view that shit. You know you would. Let's do it. I'm down. Fucking Texas Conspiracy title 2020. Hey, if I lose, I'll fucking gladly pack it up. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to lose. He's going to have to cheat or, do something. He's going to have to fucking have Eddie Bravo come in and save him or something like that. He's going to have to cheat to beat me. That's the only way he's going to beat me. Only way, I'm telling you. I've talked about this, continually, these fireballs that have been crashing that everybody, just blames on meteorites and everything, and the increase of them has passed over the last 10 years, unexplained stuff flying into people's houses. I believe this is 100% a result of the stuff that's being shot down up there. And more and more have happened recently. Mysterious large fireball falling to Earth crashes in Salem. Police investigate. Police are investigating a mysterious large fireball falling to the earth spotted in Salem, Oregon, in the southwest of Polk County. The fiery trail was reported by a local resident around 4:50 p.m. local time on Thursday. According to Lieutenant Dustin Newman, a spokesman for the Polk County Sheriff's Office, the incident was reported as a plane crash, but its exact location remains... That's interesting. Because how many times... I looked at this and I can't find another one. I can't find another incident like this where, a meteorite, which we're told, we're at least led to believe it's a fairly common occurrence, but I've never heard of a meteorite, which most of the time break up. Most of the majority of your I mean, there have been some large meteorites, pretty large meteorites found on Earth, but the majority of the material breaks up in the atmosphere. But for this thing to have been so big and also appeared to be like a craft coming down that people thought it was a plane crash, and multiple people called and reported it as such to the authorities, that's a big red flag. That tells you that this was probably some kind of craft or something that got shot down. Who knows? But there's definitely been a space war going on up there for a long time that's been held a secret. And that's what I believe the whole Trump Space Force thing has been about, the upgrading and updating of that. The fireball was reported as a plane crash, and they're working to locate a possible landing location and exactly what the fireball is. After the 911 call came in, we were able to get a helicopter in the area, and they didn't see anything of concern. There were no reports of a downed aircraft either. We really believe it was a meteor, as yesterday there was somewhat rare meteor shower in our area as well. The exact location of the fireball is unknown. That's the other thing. There are people... I mean, how do you think people get meteorites? For years, people have gone out when they see them come down and gone out and found the material and collected it, and you could sell it. I've had some meteorite stuff I've sold before, but the thing I've been seeing happening a lot lately with some of these supposed fireballs that have been coming down is that people are not able to go to find anything when they go out, even if they're very close to the spot where it came down. That's why I think a lot of this stuff that's coming down is being retrieved by retrieval teams, military retrieval teams, before people can even get out there and get to it. So, yeah, it's fascinating. I've seen some of these things myself. I saw one about 10 years ago that came in, and it looked like, I've never seen anything like this. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was like a serpent. It was moving like a serpent. It was big. It was, much bigger than any meteorite. I think it was big. It was bright, like aurora green. And the front of it was shaped almost like a sperm. It was like coming down really slow and bright and weaving back and forth, making a serpentine motion through the sky as it came down. And I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've seen meteorites and fireballs, stuff like that, and they're really fast and they break up really quickly. Whatever this was something else. I still don't know to this day what it was. I think it was something burned, something was shot down, a ship or something was burning up on re-entry. Yellowstone supervolcano is eruption imminent after 193 earthquakes, and I'm like, God damn. Yeah, I've said it once, I said it again. If that motherfucker goes off, it's lights out. It's a game over. I mean, if that motherfucker blows, hey, you better get your bucket list going in the next 10 to 24 hours. Fuck your boss in the ass, shoot heroin in your eyeball, tell your fucking pastor to suck your fucking dead devil dick. Just do everything you've always wanted to do, because it's game over. That shit happens. But 193 in 1 month, that's unsettling. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this is interesting. I love how they apply new terms and titles that have only been around a few years to things that were thousands of years old. Oh, shit. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Hate when that happens. Whew, all right. False flag. It went away. No sneeze, thank goodness. Babylonian God used fake news to trick Noah into building his ark. Claims new translation of 3,000-year-old tablet. What? See, this always bothers me. Because, like I've said before, I've read these so-called scholarly translations of these texts, and I've read, what they supposedly say and mean, and really, and this is where Zechariah Sitchin took a lot of liberties, was that, a lot of this stuff is up for interpretation. A Babylonian retelling of Noah and the Ark on a 3,000-year-old clay tablet could be one of the oldest examples of fake news, a Cambridge academic has claimed. In the engraved scripture, and see the timing of this too. The timing of this also with fucking, like I talked about before, them saying that Trump is the great white hope and he's fucking, Cyrus the Great reincarnated, and fucking Kanye thinks he's Nebuchadnezzar. By the way, did you see the reviews for his Nebuchadnezzar opera? Got totally panned. They called that shit's Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, that shit made me fall out of my fucking chair. In the engraved scripture, Ea, the Babylonian god, and of course, Ea, we know was, that's Anunnaki. Ea, the Babylonian god, appears to suggest to Noah that he tells his helpers food will rain from the skies if they help build the ark. However, right, because the story. Initially, they started, Inky started getting it, he got his Bikram yoga on. $1 million, one drop of my sperm. Inky sperm will $1 million for one pitcher to pour into the womb to create humans. $1 million for one drop of Inky sperm. But, the story is initially that they because they brought the Agigi with them. That was like their workers. And the Agigi were like, fuck this shit. We're fuck y'all. Y'all do this shit yourself. Y'all gonna sit in your fucking, on your thrones and shit and make us fucking mine all this gold and all this shit. Fuck this shit. So they were like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do? We're fucked here. We gotta get some fucking workers. We gotta do something. What do we got to work with here? And then they had the local yokels that they found on Earth. They started getting their fuck on. I still think that shit was hilarious though. And Inky did pour his semen into the womb. Pouring it, huh? Like I said before, I said it once, I said it again. That motherfucker's ego was running rampant. Come on now. You got some shooters. It's like basketball. Look, coming is like basketball. You got shooters, you got dribblers. You're either one or the other. You're either a shooter or a dribbler. But a pourer, hey, there ain't no pouring in basketball. Okay? There is no position called the pour. Ain't nobody pouring any semen into the womb. Could you imagine? Especially ladies. Could you imagine that? You imagine if you're banging some dude and he's like, yeah, girl, I'm going to pour it in. Pour? Motherfucker, you ain't about to pour nothing. You either going to dribble out a little bit or you're going to shoot it with a bunch of watery stuff. Because it's either fucking watery or it's thick and viscous like mucus. But pouring? Nah. But that was what, that was the whole thing. Well, I just love the fact that I still love the fact that their solution to their workers revolting on them is getting a fuck on. That was their solution. Well, we could fuck. What are we going to fuck? Well, there's these fucking weird ape chimp creatures over here. I bet I could fuck one of them. And then they did, and there was problems with that. And then, they ordered them to be destroyed and all that. And that was supposedly was the flood. And then the ones that survived. They created, gave them more of their DNA. And the ones specifically that came from the Caucasus Mountain region, the white-skinned ones that were living in caves, are the ones that they gave the most Anunnaki DNA to. And these are the ones that became the bloodlines that now still rule the world to this day. However, Dr. Martin Worthington, a leading expert on the Babylonian language, claims that the words have a double meaning. Dr. Worthington discovered the trickery on the 11th tablet of Gilgamesh, dating back to 700 BC, which gives the Babylonian account of the flood. Although Noah has a different name in the scripture discovered by Assyriologist George Smith in 1872, it is largely accepted to be the same story as Noah and the Ark in the Bible, Genesis, but with fewer gods. Yeah, that's always been the big thing for me in the Bible, where they're, I'm the one and only true God, and only worship me and put no other gods before me. Wait. You can't be both, motherfucker. You're either the only one and the only true God and the only God there is. Why would you say I'm the only one and then put no other gods before? That means there's other ones out there. Translated, the cuneiform script reads along the lines of, quote, at dawn there will be cuckoo cakes. What? What? You're fucking kidding me, right? This is your new. You got to be fucking shitting me. Somebody, come on. Is this The Onion? No, it's not. Come on. Are you serious? This is their new translation. So instead of food will rain down from the skies, at dawn there will be cuckoo cakes. What the fuck is a cuckoo cake? Cuckoo cake. I don't know. That sounds like that's like a bukkake translation. That's, hey, if we're just throwing translations up against the wall here and just seeing what sticks, no pun intended. Cuckoo cakes, bukkake cakes. And Enki did bukkake every chimp ape and turned them into a slave race. Cuckoo cakes, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but can equally mean at dawn he will rain down upon you darkness. While another line promises he will rain down on you abundance, or less appealingly, he will rain down on you abundantly. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of different interpretations here. Dr. Worthington told the Telegraph that Ea tricks humanity by spreading fake news. He tells the Babylonian Noah, known as Uta Napishiti, to promise his people that food will rain down from the sky if they help him build the ark. Adding, once the ark is built, Uta Napishiti and his family clamber aboard and survive with a menagerie of animals while everyone else drowns. With this early episode set in mythological time, the manipulation of information and language has begun. It may be the earliest ever example of fake news. Dr. Worthington suggests that Ea, the god's part in the story, was all about self-interest, as Babylonians believed gods needed to be fed by humans to survive. Well, let's be clear here. We keep calling this Babylonian. This is all pre-Babylonian. The Babylonian Empire came way after this. I don't know why they keep referring to this as Babylonian. This is from like maybe the Sumerian period, maybe even before the Sumerian period. Actually, I take that back. Definitely before the Sumerian period. Because you had the Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian civilizations, and they came in that order, and those all came post-flood. So this is all pre-flood because it has the Ark story in it. That's pre-flood. These so-called experts don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You know, some fucking dude sitting in a fucking little house in fucking Dallas, Texas knows more about the history of this shit. And I've spent more hours studying this shit. This is not a lie. I spent more hours studying this stuff than the so-called experts who have degrees in this stuff. And I'm not kidding. This is a fact. That period was what was it the Utu period or the it was a name for the period prior. Ubaid, the Ubaid period. And this is where this was the period, this is even prior to this, we're talking pre-flood here. So yeah, the Babylonian period was thousands of years later. But again, this is the reason why they do this, folks, is because they want to confuse the general public, and they want to use it to serve their agendas, and they know people aren't going to know the difference anyway. But I mean, clearly right here, you can read this article, clearly right here, they're fucking up. You can't say this is Babylonian and say this is pre-flood, because the Babylonian period was the last of that period of rule. Though that was when you had the erection of the Tower of Babel, and you had the confusion of language, and you had all these different races and stuff that were spread out in different locations across the globe. And you had each one of these different Anunnaki gods were given dominion over a certain land and given their own areas. And then they had cults that later became religions. This was the early genesis of religions. And then each one of these gods had their own, was given their own land on earth to rule over, and with their own slaves and followers and everything else. And then cults and religions got built up around each one of those individual gods that were over that area. And everything should have been cool. Everything should have been cool. Everything should have been cool at that point. But that's where you can see where we get all of our, all of our fallacies and all of our, negative aspects from, is that wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough because, this God over here, he's got his land and his followers. Well, why can't I have that land over there and have his followers? Then I'll be bigger. So this was where the beginning of war, this was the beginning of mankind. This is why we have the ability to be warmongers in our blood came from. Because they would just say, well, I want so-and-so God, I want his land and his followers, and I want them to come over to my religion. So what I'm going to do is I'll use our slaves that we genetically engineered to wage war against his people. So yeah, these people just flat don't know what to talk about. They're wrongfully so. You want to talk about fake news? I'm calling fake news on you motherfuckers. And then they contradict themselves throughout the article. Down, you scroll down, it says Babylonia was an ancient state and cultural area based in the central southern Mesopotamia, now present-day Iraq, that spoke Akkadian. Yeah, that's true. They spoke Akkadian because Akkadian was the prior civilization to Babylon. But these were all way, way, way after the flood. Again, Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian. The Ubaid period was the period in which they first started going. This was the period shortly after the genetic manipulation started going on. If you've ever seen those figurines, those little reptilian snake creature figurines, they're like suckling human babies to the tit, which were subsequently stolen from the Iraq National Museum in 2003. Those were from the Ubaid period. So yeah, this is highly suspect. I mean, they're calling this, it's Babylonian fake news. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm calling fake news on you motherfuckers. Mysterious ripples and clouds over Antarctica that were photographed from the International Space Station and provoked wild conspiracy theories are caused by islands, say meteorologists. Islands. How the fuck do islands create rippled clouds? This is scalar clouds. Period, end of story. I've seen this with my own eyes. These are scalar Kim clouds. That's exactly what these are. These are scalar clouds. They're caused by these high altitude spray planes that are up there in the troposphere. And, you know, they want to call people conspiracy theorists for saying it was some high-speed craft flying over. And meanwhile, their official story is, oh, it's islands. Yeah, islands cause this, right? But yet this phenomenon has never been observed anywhere else on any other islands. I mean, it's just, oh, my God. And they just know that people are dumb. People go, yeah, that's probably what it is. Got no reason to think otherwise. Derp. Revealed sophisticated Russian trolls are luring Twitter users to their accounts with heartwarming posts, then spreading disinformation to build distrust ahead of the 2020 election. It's the same shit they were doing back in 2016. Same old stuff. See what else we got here tonight. Oh, come on. Slow loading bullshit. Oh, shit. This Thanksgiving gravy infused with cannabis should ease family stress. Oh, my God. Man, wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Wouldn't you love to make some fucking cannabis-infused gravy and feed that shit to your family and not tell them? Just sit back and watch the chaos ensue? Oh, it'd be fucking great. I mean, you'd have to have a separate batch, you know, the kids couldn't get their hands on. And I understand that, but you wouldn't want to dose any kids. Man, I can think of a few adults in my family I'd like to dose. For real. That'd be some fucking funny shit. Oh, I just ate a full meal, but all of a sudden I'm hungry again. And I'm really thirsty too. Yeah. Y'all got any Pink Floyd? I don't know why I want to listen to Pink Floyd all of a sudden. Oh, that would just be fucking funny. Forget about those turkey tryptophan myths. Your mellow mood this Thanksgiving could come from a packet of powdered gravy. Just add water, heat, and stir. Eat and let all those awkward family conversations float away on a cloud of cannabis. California cannabis company Kiva Confections created a Thanksgiving turkey gravy loaded with THC, the chemical compound that gives marijuana its oomph. Kiva said its sauce, quote, is made with cutting-edge technology that bypasses edibles' normally lengthy trip through the liver, instead absorbing into the soft tissue tone. Yeah, well, that's why edibles fuck you up so bad. Because people don't understand is that smoking weed and eating weed is two totally different things, because they affect your body two totally different ways. Because when you eat it, the liver produces this chemical and it fucks you up fucking even worse. But edibles by and large don't do it for me. I mean, I remember eating some brownies back in the day that I used to make, because I had this lady that was on my block that used to make them for cancer patients. And I kept trying to talk her into she would never give me her recipe, but she'd sell them to you. She lived around the corner from me. I remember the first time I got one from her, she was like, look, I'm telling you right now, she's like, you know, only eat half of this thing. Don't eat the whole thing at a time. Only eat a half. These things are fucking strong as fuck. Only eat a half. Don't smoke any weed the rest of the night after you eat this thing. Don't drink any alcohol. And don't get behind the wheel of a car. Guess what? I didn't listen to anything that bitch said. I ate the whole fucking thing. I smoked like 5 blunts. I drank like fuck tons of alcohol. And I got behind the fucking wheel of the car. And let me tell you, motherfuckers, all of those were a mistake. She was correct. Correct. I was wrecked. Oh, this is like back in 2001 when this happened. So it was a long time ago. I was, like 24, 25 years old. I was young, dumb, and full of cum. But eventually, I talked her into giving me her recipe and all that shit. And this is before it was widely known. Now you can just go on the internet and find this shit. Back then it wasn't, good things like this. But that's cool. So they figured out a way to make it, that's crazy. Why don't they do that with all edibles? They found a way to make it absorb through the soft tissue in the stomach instead of going through the liver. Well, shit. Awkward family dinner conversation in just under 15 minutes. You'll start feeling the effects so you can sit back, relax, and let the holiday cheer wash over you. Oh, this is genius. The gravy ingredient list includes turkey stock, garlic, onion, salt, and 10 milligrams THC. 10 milligrams? What? That ain't even enough to get your cat high. 10 milligrams? Man, again, I got to say it 2 days in a row. Y'all forcing me to say this shit 2 days in a row. I got to say it again, nigga, please. 10 milligrams? 10 milligrams ain't enough to get my fucking nutsack high. Are you kidding me? 10 milligrams? Man, you better make like fucking 10 packets of that gray wet. Not 10 milligrams. That's weak sauce. 10 milligrams. Nah, you need to fucking, if you're going to make that shit, if you're going to make that gravy and it's only got 10 milligrams in it, then you're going to need to get at least an ounce of some fucking OG Kush or some shit, or some fucking white rhino or some shit like that, and grind that shit up and fucking make a butter or something out of it, add it in with the gravy. I don't know. Butter up the rolls with that shit. Fucking grandma's and be over there fucking flying high. She's like, I ain't felt like this since 69. Yeah, I bet you hadn't. Oh, that is fucking funny though. Just the idea of fucking, your fucking Trump loving fucking relatives getting dosed on some fucking pot gravy. Plus, just the idea of pot gravy alone is, you know what I mean? Like, that's not something I would have ever thought of. You know what I mean? I mean, most people think of like, brownies or cakes or, they make all kinds of, gummy bears and all that stuff. But gravy, I would never have even thought of gravy. That'd been the last fucking thing. You know what I mean? Let's get high and then we'll eat some gravy. Let's not fucking put the weed in the gravy. I don't know. It's weird, but hell, I'd probably throw down on it. I'll tell you what I would throw down on a fucking, like a chicken fried steak. Y'all don't know nothing about chicken fried steak if you don't live in Texas, but come down here to fucking Texas. I'll show you what's chicken fried steak's all about. God damn. Some chicken fried steak with some cream gravy and not that brown, nasty brown gravy y'all be eating in wherever y'all are from. I'm talking about that white cream gravy. That shit'd be green. Feel like an ounce of OG Kush in that shit. Like, damn, I know I just ate, but I'm already hungry again. What the fuck? I got a tapeworm or some shit? That's fucking hilarious. I gotta say, I just like the idea in general. Pentagon races to end China's dream of military domination in space. The United States and China are rapidly building space warfare capabilities as part of a race to dominate the zone outside Earth's atmosphere. What have I been telling you? I've been saying it for years. And this is all going to line up with the staged alien invasion scenario. Air Force General John W. Raymond, commander of the Pentagon's new Space Command, said last week that the threat of attacks against vital American satellites is real. I can tell you from my perspective, the scope, scale, and complexity of that threat is alive and well and very concerning. China's strategy for dominating space was detailed this month in the annual report of the Congressional U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission. The commission report warned that China wants to dominate the zone between Earth and the moon, known as cislunar space, as part of what the ruling Communist Party of China calls the space dream. No, wait a minute. Cislunar space? What? Wait. You motherfuckers are assigning gender pronouns to space zones now First it was cisgender and cis whatever. All those fucking pronouns, all that shit's bullshit. I ain't never going to play that game. I don't give a fuck who likes it and who don't. If you look like a man, I'm calling you a man. If you look like a female, I'm calling you a female. If you got a dick and you're one or the other, you got a pussy and you're one or the other, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't know you look like a dude to me. Sorry you got a vag. Or, hey, I'm sorry. I called you Susie. You look like Susie to me, but apparently you're Tom and you got a dong down there. You're packing heat. Cis lunar. Oh, no. Don't call me lunar space anymore. I identify as cis lunar space now. What? You motherfuckers are assigning gender pronouns to vast, empty areas of air quotes space. This is fucked. I know you got to feel me on this. I swear to you, there are days I wake up and I go, man, I woke up in I went to sleep in one dimension and woke up in another one. I swear to God, I felt like that yesterday. Then I woke up today and felt like I was back in the appropriate dimension. But yesterday, all day, I felt like I woke up in like the wrong dimension or something, or the wrong timeline or something. It was weird. This is just strange. If you got a dick, you're a dude. If you got a dick, you could be a woman. If you got a pussy, you're a woman, and some dudes get their dicks chopped, and then they're women. But cis lunar space, I don't know. We're almost through 2019 already. I got to tell you, every year there are some news article titles that just make me laugh and take the cake. And I got to admit that this year there hasn't been as many of those as there used to be. And I think that has to do largely with just how shitty all this stuff, this shitty political environment we're in, all this PC horse shit, all the gender pronoun shit. But I saw this and I was like, all right, this has got to be the early winner for me as far as great title articles go. From Popular Mechanics, aliens smell like farts. The real question is, do aliens like to smell farts? Because there are a lot of these alien researchers out there, and people you see on Ancient Aliens and all this stuff, that definitely like to sniff their own farts. Like David Wilsuck cock for an alien autopsy footage. David Wilcock definitely sniffs his own farts. Definitely sniffs his own farts. Sometimes it takes a child to point out the important questions. My 8-year-old is a burgeoning amateur scientist, so he keeps up with the latest science news a little more closely than I do. He learned recently that Curiosity, NASA's roving Martian science lab, has been detecting some rather interesting organic and chemical molecules on the red planet, some of which could be clues of life. I know where they're going with this. They're going to methane. Organic stuff, when it breaks down, produces methane. So now they're finding methane on Mars. So now they're putting out a clickbaity article called Aliens Smell Like Farts. I haven't read the rest of this article. I guarantee that's what they're going to do. Let's see if I'm right. So far, it's discovered dimethyl sulfide, methylethanol, and most surprisingly, trace amounts of oxygen. Along with the compounds we already know about, like nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide, Mars has the same chemical composition as flatulence. I knew it. Which has led my son to one escapable conclusion. If aliens exist, they probably smell like farts. Oh, I get so tired of this. Martians and this whole obsession with, if aliens are real, the only place that they can possibly come from is Mars. It's just so asinine, but I get it. I mean, I think that largely has to do with the fact that there were people on Mars at one point, and something happened, and it became uninhabitable. They fucked their planet up, but definitely, in the like we were talking about earlier with the Sumerian stuff, the Sumerian texts and the Anunnaki stuff, that's where they had a way station in. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that's where the whole Igigi revolt thing first started to happen, because it talks about that in those ancient texts, it talks about one of the, I can't remember the name, but one of the Agi that was brave and basically sacrificed himself. And then they carved his face into the rock to memorialize him. And that's supposedly what the supposed face on Mars is. But yeah, this is just clickbait. But it's funny. I whether aliens smell like farts, and I want to know, do they sniff farts? Because why the fuck are they always, why are they always coming in at night? You know what I'm saying? People be farting while they're asleep. I know I do. I fucking blown my cat out of bed before, man. I fucking rattle one off. My cat will take off running in the middle of the night because it'll just be dark and quiet, and I'll just rattle off a methane bubble right there. But regardless of all that, David Wilcock, he definitely sniffs his own farts. I just want to be clear about that. No question. All right. I'm going to leave it there for you folks, and I'll be back tomorrow on Thanksgiving with another show for you. Again, like I said earlier in the show, if you are here in the States and you are giving thanks tomorrow, throw in a little extra thanks. Be grateful for what you have. Be thankful for the people. And just as much as it may suck for you to have to, maybe you don't like your family, you don't like being around them, it's paying your ass, you don't like football, everybody's watching fucking football. Uncle Joe's into fucking Trump and Aunt Mavis is into fucking Hillary, whatever. Just give thanks, be thankful, think about me, and be grateful for, think about the less fortunate people. And again, we've got to reach 100% of our operating cost goal by Monday. So let's have everybody come in with whatever amount you can between now and then. If everybody that could contribute $100, and when you think about the thousands of people that we have, 20 people contributing $100 between now and Monday will 100% get it done. But everybody just give whatever amount you can, the largest amount you can afford to give, so we can get this covered. I'm very, very close to having Soulcasters 2 done, so I need to stay buckled down on that and not have to worry about keeping the lights and the electricity on there, all that stuff, and keeping the roof available in the studio open. So please act accordingly and contribute whatever you can to our fundraising goal. I'm going to put some, also check the, between now and Friday, check the download shop where all my films are there, all my documentary films, all of my presentations, the 9-hour Mystery Hollywood series is in there. The big audiobook pack that has hundreds of hours of audio, killer audio in the audiobooks, all that stuff. We've got the complete download collection where you can get all my work, all my films, all my presentations, all my audiobooks, all that stuff. I'll be putting some stuff on sale for you guys so you can catch some deals on some stuff between now and Friday. All right. I love you guys very much. Thank you to everybody out there, especially the ones of you who are really on my team, really on my side, and really understand what we're trying to do here. I thank you. And those of you out there, we need more of you to come on board and be on the team. Love to have you. Quit sitting on the fence and jump on and be a part of this thing. Because this is not just my work. This is our work. When you contribute to that, it becomes our work. That's why I say our work. I'm a one-man operation. I do everything myself. Everything. All elements of the filmmaking, everything. I don't have a team of people. I don't have helpers. But those of you that contribute help more than anybody ever could, and allow us to continue and be able to do this work, and allow me to be able to focus on what needs to be focused on, which is the information. And that's the most important aspect. But we need more of you to come on board the team, and we'd love to have you and, contribute and have a stake in this thing, I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Folks, this is Josh Reeves, and I'm here to tell you about a fantastic website, FixYourGut.com. FixYourGut.com can help you take control of your overall health. Are you sick and tired of suffering from indigestion, acid reflux, bloating, or abdominal pain? Do you run to the bathroom either all the time or hardly ever at all? Do you forget things often or have trouble concentrating? Are you depressed or anxious? Do you have IBD or SIBO? Digestive disorders are increasing in frequency because of our toxic-laden, fast-paced world. There are billions of microorganisms that live in your intestinal tract that have more to say about your health than almost anything else. Learn how to make sure your gut has more of the right organisms to improve your health and enhance your life. FixYourGut.com has over 200 free blog articles, and it's one of the most valuable resources on the planet to improve your overall health and well-being. Search either Fix Your Gut or We've Read the Documents on YouTube for the latest health and conspiracy information as well. You can also purchase John Brisson's book, Fix Your Gut, or get personal one-on-one health coaching to help get you back to living your life happy and healthy. Visit FixYourGut.com, the ultimate source for all things digestive health.